Pete Buttigieg served as Secretary of Transportation under President Biden. Before that, of course, he was the mayor of South Bend, Indiana. He returned to his home state earlier this year to campaign against redistricting, and he joins me now. It's great to have you here.
Good to be with you. Thanks for having me.
I got to say, I don't know Indiana state politics that well. I really don't. It's not. There are states that I've had occasion to kind of cover in depth, and Indiana's not one of them. So I'm looking at this from the outside and thinking, wow, I did not see this coming. Now, there was resistance all along, and they were getting cajoled. What's your read on why this happened today?
It's absolutely extraordinary. You know, the vice president said they have to pick a side, and they did. Now, to be clear, they didn't stop being Republicans. This is a conservative state. These are conservative legislators, but they figured out that the right thing to do, and for them, the smart thing to do, was to say no to the White House, no to Donald Trump, and no to J.D. Vance. And having spent a fair amount of time around the Indiana legislature, I got to tell you just how intense this pressure might have been. These are not full-time legislators. At least last time I checked, they don't even have a full-time staff member. They often share a legislative aide. So imagine having a day job, being a part-time legislator, and you get a phone call from the President of the United States. You get an in-person visit from the Vice President of the United States. You got the Speaker of the House in Washington working the phones. That pressure is enormous, and they said no. It's an extraordinary thing.
It reminds me a lot of what we saw in the run-up to January 6th, after the election in 2020. I'm thinking of the Arizona State Legislature, Rusty Bowers, who, resisted the calls again from the president to start a special session. We saw, in Georgia, where Brad Raffensperger wouldn't give him the 11,000 votes. And in all those cases, it seems some combination of personal disposition, calculation of the politics, and also just genuine principle. Is that your kind of read of the combination here?
That's part of it. Also, political organizing helped. So I went to Indiana in September. We had a rally with hundreds of people, about 1,000 people filling that atrium of the State House. And it demonstrated that the people of Indiana, again, still a very conservative state, but they did not think that this was right. And every time that the forces aligned with the president tried to stage a rally, trying to show popular support for what they were doing, it fell flat. They could only get a few dozen. And I think that's especially important at a time like this where a lot of people at home are wondering if they have any power at all. A big part of how Trumpism works is to make you feel totally disempowered, to make him feel inevitable. And yet the clear takeaway from this is he is not unstoppable, and you are not without power. A whole bunch of people stood up, rallied in the State House, made those phone calls, the exact kind of old-fashioned political organizing things that some of us asked, does this still matter? Does this still work?